Are you using video to market and grow your business? If not, I think you should. Using video is a great way to connect with people and help differentiate your business from the rest of the pack. Our special guests, plural, today, run a video production company, and we're going to talk all about how to use professional video to market and grow your business. Hi, I am Tim Fitzpatrick with Rialto Marketing, where we believe marketing shouldn't be difficult and you must remove your revenue roadblocks to accelerate growth. I want to thank you so much for taking the time to tune in. I am super excited to have Joe and Emma from Chezy with me today. Welcome, guys, and thanks for being here.
Hi, thanks so much, Tim.
Yeah, thank you, Tim.
Yes. So it's always a little interesting. I very rarely do I have multiple guests, so this is going to be cool. This is going to be fun. We're going to start off with some rapid fire questions. I don't care which one of you guys answers. If both of you guys want to answer, totally cool too. So, you ready to rock?
Yeah.
Okay. When you're not working, how do you like to spend your time?
Watching soccer.
Community building events.
And what's your hidden talent?
Kicking a football far.
I can do whistle tones when I sing.
I like that. What's the best piece of advice you've ever been given?
It's never as bad as it is, never as good as it is.
You can't be what you can't see, so surround yourself with those that are where you want to get to.
What's one thing about you that surprises people?
Very quiet.
I was a theater kid in high school.
What does success mean to you?
Freedom of time, maximizing time.
A rising tide lifts all ships.
Where's your happy place?
On a sailboat on Lake Superior.
With my dog.
What kind of dog?
He's a rescue, so he's a lab German Shepherd mix.
Okay, I got one of those.
Yes.
All black and like 85 pounds. He's a
beast.
He's fun. What qualities do you value in the people you spend time with?
Loyalty.
Lifelong learners.
Awesome. You guys rocked it. You guys did that quicker than most people when it's just one person. So you guys did an awesome job. So tell me more about what you guys are doing at Chezy before we kind of jump into talking about professional video.
Yeah, Joe.
Yeah. So Chezy is a video production company that is driven by technology. And really what we aim to do is maximize efficiency. And when we maximize efficiency, we're able to have a lot more affordable costs. So Chezy exists because video production in the past has been extremely expensive for a small business to accomplish. So they usually don't do it, or they use their phones. So we wanted to provide a solution for a cost-effective way to not only get one video, but get a year's worth of video content for their marketing platform. So Emma, you have anything more to add?
No, I think that was pretty all-encompassing of the key pieces.
So let's dig into your approach, right? You guys are doing it differently, which allows you to bring those costs down. What's your approach? Let's dig into that.
All right, Emma, it's your turn.
Okay. I think a lot of it circles down to what Joe had mentioned originally. So absolutely being obsessed with efficiency. We have something that we call the Chezy value equation. It drives all of our research and development. And what it's defined as value for our team is continually lowering our price point, continually increasing the quality of the product that we're providing, increasing the quantity of the product we're providing, and making it as easy to use as we possibly can. So historically, when people want to accomplish a video project, they're forced to put all their eggs in one basket, and mostly because of budgetary reasons of having one video, that they kind of have to decide, okay, are they focusing on branding? Are they focusing on promotion? Are they focusing on hiring? And something that we're able to accomplish by trying to be as efficient as we can in pre-production, on shoot day, and in post-production is that we can help them hit a range of needs at once. and be more of like an all-encompassing video solution.
And when we talk about pre-production,
Yeah.
production, post-production, pre is kind of the planning ahead of time.
Yes.
Production is the actual video shooting, and then post-production is where you take that footage and do all the editing.
Right on the nose.
Okay. When we talk about professional video versus not, let's kind of define that for people so they can get as much value from this conversation as possible. How do you view professional versus just, I'm shooting on my phone? Like, and when is it okay to use my phone, and when should I really be thinking about doing professional production?
Yeah. I see no problem in using your phone for some styles of video. So you have a simple announcement that you want to make on social media. There is no reason why you should be hiring a production crew to come in and
Yeah.
shoot that video, because it's also going to take a lot of time for that production crew. So just using your phone for some live announcement is really all you need. But when you step into some larger brand assets like a brand storytelling video and having that on your website or pinned to the top of your social media page, that's something that should be a well thought out art piece. So, and I know Emma has more information when you're comparing, you know, I know Google's, going through the files and saying this is a quality video versus, this is a phone or whatnot. Do you want to share more about what
Yeah.
you've learned recently?
Yeah, absolutely. And we talk a lot about timeliness versus timelessness of content.
Mm.
Obviously, I mean, we've worked with realtors, for example. If they're selling a house, the market's been moving so fast that it's not feasible, like Joe had said, for us to come in, make a feature video, and them to share. It's probably better for them to do a live stream video straight to their Facebook page so they can engage with their audience right away. Now, where the timelessness factor is important is perhaps, I mean, so much business happens over the internet now, which is why we love video, because we know that websites that have video content on them get higher engagement. And a part of that is due to what Joe had been saying previously about Google's changing a bit of their SEO strategy, where video that is higher quality is actually getting bumped up in SEO. And that's based on what kind of resolution is the video downloaded in? What kind of engagement does it get? How long do people sit and watch through the duration of that content?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I love that. Timeliness versus timelessness. So when we're thinking about timeliness, that's where it's okay to just shoot on your phone. Most social media video stuff, frankly, I think should be done on your phone. It just shows a lot more, realness, I guess, for lack of a better term.
Authenticity.
Yeah, authenticity. Whereas timelessness, when you have videos that are more for branding, things that aren't going to change all the time, that's where, somebody going to the homepage of your site, they don't want to watch a video that looks like it wasn't done professionally. It's not a good look.
Exactly. And it ties a lot to trust building. So if you're thinking about, I mean, like strategizing thought leadership content, yes, absolutely. There are those one-offs where you hit the more timely pieces of the content that you cover as a content expert. But there are things that are standalone. Like if we're talking about 5G internet and you want to set yourself apart in the industry, you make a really killer video about 5G internet that is high quality, high resolution, well done.
Yeah.
That is an immediate trust builder with your audience.
Yeah. It positions how do you want your brand to be positioned?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So we started to touch on this a little bit. What are some of the top ways businesses can use professional video to market and grow?
Okay. Joe, I don't know if you have anything comes to mind right away.
Yeah. So when we work with clients, they're getting multiple styles of video for different avenues. So we can create lead generation advertising videos for social media, but then once they're to your landing page, what does that longer form video look like? That's really going to maybe share a client testimonial about your product or service. From there, they're in your process, working with you. What kind of explainer videos do you have to explain how everything works? So it's really well received and understood of how your process or approach works. So there's so many videos that we complete. And not only that, but then also on the hiring side as well, showcasing your culture,
Yeah.
and all of that. So that basically, how many problems can we solve with video? Um, it is really the big question that we have when we're meeting with a potential client is what are you going through? What does 2023 look like for you?
Yeah.
And the goals that you have. So, what else do you have to add with that, Emma?
Yeah, we spend a lot of time problem solving. So the product that we offer is really unique in the fact that we are providing so much video content at once that sometimes when we have initial conversations with potential customers, they're overwhelmed by the idea of planning 15 to 20 videos
Yeah.
in one sitting. And it's really as simple as, okay, is your organization struggling with hiring? Are you struggling with branding? Are you struggling to get the trust built with your customers? So then we focus more on thought leadership. I think the professional side of video, like Joe had said, allows us to create funnels of, okay, how do we catch them? How do we educate them? How do we get them interested? Eventually having that onboarding of a customer.
Mhm.
Um, yeah.
What about testimonials? Client testimonials? You do those too? Yeah.
We
I
offer
love them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that's like the backbone of the majority of our clients' video plans. There's a lot
yes.
of testimonials,
Testimonial, I
storytelling.
mean, it's one thing to have it written, but it's a totally different experience when it's in video because people actually see it. They're like, oh my gosh, this person's actually real. So,
Yep.
yeah, I love that. So we've kind of talked about testimonials, brand storytelling videos, HR videos about culture, explainer videos, and then depending on the specific problems that they have, there may be other videos that kind of start to come to the surface. And so you guys do that up front in the pre-production process, really identifying
Mhm.
what the deal is, what videos they need, and then that helps put the plan together of what needs to happen in production.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But it's
Yeah. And
I think the thing that's so cool about what you guys are doing is it's not just one video. Frankly, I think it's hard to get traction with just one video. I think you need multiple and you need to think about the entire process.
Yes, and there are certain things that we do to leverage making sure like yes, we're making a lot of videos, but we want them to also be high impact. So, how can we ensure that the videos are shorter, they grab attention faster from potential viewers? How do we make them authentic so that way we focus on more of an interview based format? So you're creating that authenticity. Because what video does is it's a direct look into the individuals in your organization. Because at the end of the day, and I think this is where business professionals leverage LinkedIn is because you're not just sharing who your business is, you're sharing the people that exist in it because you buy into people in most cases. You're not always buying into brands. So by
Yeah.
doing more of those testimonial interview style videos, you're showcasing directly who your organization is, what sets it apart. Joe and I actually initially met because I was in event planning. So I was running one of our community's events called TEDx Fargo. So
Okay.
a 2,000 person event that happens in downtown Fargo. And Joe made this killer video for us to use for promotion. And so often it was tickets for that event were $100. And it was really hard to convince people to spend the money and invest in themselves that way. But by showing them this video and having them fully understand what the day was encompassing, that we had artists and performers, that there was artisanal food, and that video showcased all of that, it made it so much easier to turn over ticket sales with an actual visual representation of the work that we were doing.
Yeah, it sold the event for you.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. I love that. So what are some of the most common mistakes, pitfalls people make with professional video?
This is all you, Joe.
I would say it's the messaging. You got to put yourself in the viewer's shoes and understand that they really don't care about your success. So when you're in front of the screen and you're just bragging about your business, uh, it's just not received well. They don't care
Yeah.
how successful you are. They don't care, if you own a restaurant and you go out of business, they're just going to go to the next business. It doesn't matter. So how do you put the story together in a solid way to where you're the guide? You are not the hero of the story.
Yeah.
Your customers, your clients are the hero. Tell their story. And that's why we lean so heavily into client testimonials, is because they are the hero. Let
Yeah.
them tell their success story using your service or product. And I think that is a big thing of why a lot of videos don't work, is because just people don't, they just simply don't care. You know,
Yeah.
they want their most important part of the story is like me, right? So make them the hero.
You're speaking my language, Joe. As a marketing consultant and an outsourced fractional chief marketing officer, all of the stuff we start with is with strategy, which is all around who are your ideal clients, the target market that you're serving, and then what message do you need to have to attract and engage those people. And you hit the nail on the head. I mean, like, people don't care. They just don't. So they care about themselves. How can we help them get from where they are to where they want to be? And,
Yep.
Another way that I can't remember where I heard this. I think it was Dove Gordon, said, people care about the problems that they have and don't want, and the results they want and don't have. And our message needs to focus on those things. We're only talking about ourselves enough to establish that credibility, that authority, but the rest of it needs to be focused on the clients and the people we need to attract. So if you don't know who your ideal clients are, you got to figure that out, because then you're never going to be able to create a message that's going to attract those people. So it all starts there. Then you've got the message. Once you've got the message, then it makes your job putting those videos together much easier and much more effective.
Yep.
That could be a good segue to, I think, another common mistake that people make is not identifying where the video is going to live prior to the creation of it. So we get a lot of requests or spend a lot of time pushing people towards shorter videos because we know they have increased engagement.
Yeah.
We're not necessarily on a mission to create 7-minute long like forms of content, because they just don't get as much follow through unless it's on like this kind of platform where it's a podcast, education sharing. But the way that videos are formatted based on the customer that you're trying to reach is something that we spend a lot of time explaining to customers that have never maybe necessarily worked with video content before.
Yeah. So the what I'm hearing both of you guys say is the strategy side of it, the planning is key. That's got to happen first before you just start jumping in and shooting video. So you've got to think about that. Then you can start to jump in and take action. But without the right strategy and plan, you're going to waste a lot of time and a lot of money on videos that aren't going to be very effective.
Yeah. I'm kind of like constantly on a war with art. And I mean that because as a business owner, I'm not trying to buy, let's just call it a $10,000 piece of art that does nothing besides just hang on my wall.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm going to invest $10,000, $20,000 into something, I do want to see a return on that. So don't just give art. There's also that strategy and intent behind the art. And I also think that's more so a common mistake when it comes to video production companies and kind of their mentality as well.
Yeah. I also love what you said, Emma, too, about you got to think about where these are going to live, right? Because most people are not watching, 5-10 minute videos. They're just not taking the time to do that. So we've got to think about where we're going to put them and just hit people with the information that they really need in like a shorter period of time. Do you guys think that there's a sweet spot with video in that regard?
Yeah, I think it's complex because it depends on video type. So brand storytelling video, who you are, what you do, what sets you apart, like 2 minutes. Educational content, I think, is really great when it's in that 1 to 2 minute period, because if you're just sharing information at somebody, I mean, that's why TikTok works so well, because we have short attention spans and we are getting even shorter attention spans. So a part of our job is to help our clients figure out how to adapt to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. It's been a great conversation. I love, there's a couple things I want to just pull out that I think I just want to highlight again. because Emma, one of the things you said about thinking about video from a timeliness versus timelessness standpoint, I think that is a great measuring stick to think about when you are trying to decide, is this professional video that I need, or can I just use my phone and put it out there?
Yeah.
If it's timeliness, use your phone, get it out there. If it's timelessness, you really need to start considering professional video. That's one of the biggest takeaways that I have from this. But the other thing too that you guys share that I think is really important is just thinking about the planning up front. What are the biggest problems that we have that we're trying to solve, and how can we use video to do that, and which videos do we need in order to do that? Any other thoughts, last minute thoughts you guys have?
Joe?
What do you got, Emma?
So many thoughts.
Yeah, share them. Yeah, please don't be bashful.
And I think so. We on our team, we've been talking about AI and how does the evolving of AI,
Yeah.
like how do we position ourselves to still showcase the value that we provide? And I think the biggest thing for us is faces. Based on statistics, that videos and photos with faces on them get higher engagement on social media. And so what sets us apart from just created AI, like AI generated content of videos of stock footage people edit together to showcase their product or showcase their team, are still missing that human aspect. And I think in the last 3 years, like we've craved human connection, which is further showcased in that statistic that faces get better engagement. So I think that's probably where I'm so passionate about Chezy. And Joe, I don't know if you have anything to add on to that. But even with the rise of AI, like the work that we're doing is still so necessary for making sure that the messages that organizations share are effective and having effective video. Yeah.
AI doesn't do strategy at this point.
Exactly. Exactly. And it's such a human. The other thing that I think sets apart Chezy, and Joe, you design the process. So, I mean, you can talk more to this, but when you sign up to work with our team, you are assigned a video director. They do the pre-production, they help schedule all your interviewees, they are there on shoot day, and they edit your content. So they have an incredibly impressive overall view of the work that you're doing. And to the credit of these individuals, they are not only technically very talented, but they are so personable and they make people feel so comfortable in front of the camera. So I think when we talk about our Chezy value equation, where yes, we're trying to lower our price, yes, we're trying to increase quality, yes, we're trying to increase quantity, the people side of our process is really reassuring to the fact that Luke and Alyssa, our director team, have created 1,500 videos in the last year. Think of all the individuals they've interviewed, and some of the continual feedback we get is people leave their shoot day feeling really comfortable having still sat in front of a camera under the big lights, because we try to maintain that human side of video. Even though we are a video technology company, yes, we're leveraging technology. I think anybody's naive to not. But yeah, that makes me so heated and optimistic about the process that you designed, Joe.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. I think the process that we have and that continues to be refined, not by only me, but by our entire team. It just we get to focus on things that other video production, more traditional approaches do not focus on. And it's like Emma said, it's really like we're hiring for personality for our director team, not necessarily their technical ability, because we'll teach them what they need to know.
Yeah.
Our leadership team has multi-award winning videographers from our parent company. We will put them through our own training process that we call Chezy University. And we're going, Alyssa, for example, was a communications major. She was not a video production major. So we hire for personality. We hire to make sure our directors can connect well with our clients. And that really matters when they sit down for an interview, because it is a very intimidating process sometimes. So I think it allows us to focus on different things. And I think that's really cool.
Yeah, and different industries that never have thought probably about video for problem solving. So we spend a lot of time in manufacturing helping them tell their stories. Which I
Mhm.
mean, if you think of one of our clients is a transportation company, it's a bunch of really lovely individuals that are managing and helping us solve the supply chain crisis across the
Yeah.
US, but they don't
Mhm.
necessarily enjoy sitting in front of a camera and talking about why they love their job. And you look at pictures of shoot days, but from behind the scenes, and they're having a blast. Of it's an honor to help tell this individual's story, and I think that we treat each person that sits in the interview chair as such, which adds to
Mhm.
the final quality of the video.
Mhm.
So where if people like what we've talked about, they like your philosophy. I love your process. Where can they learn more about you guys?
Yeah, so Chezy.com, Chezy.com, is our website. We are based in Fargo, North Dakota. However, we have worked on projects from the West Coast to the East Coast, and everywhere in between. So,
Yeah.
because most of our projects only have one day of shooting, you can always add on days, but that allows us to travel wherever, do the shoot day, and come back and work on the entire post production remotely. So um, it, we would love to have a conversation. There's like a book a call button, and you can speak directly with Emma McIntyre here to learn a little bit more, go through the full demo of how our Chezy process works. So
Awesome. I love it.
yeah.
Joe, Emma, thank you for taking the time. I really appreciate it. Um, those of you watching, listening, go check out Chezy, CHEZY.com. Thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate it. Those of you that are watching, listening, thank you for doing so. We've been talking about video production, which, gosh, falls into multiple revenue roadblock areas. I think messaging, target market, lead generation. If you want to find out which of the 9 revenue roadblocks are slowing down your growth, go over to revenueroadblockscorecard.com. You can also always connect with us over at rialtomarketing.com as well. So thank you for watching, listening. Appreciate you. And until next time, take care.
Thank you guys.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much, Tim.